We are in Euclid on an overcast Saturday night, and GTV is so pleased to bring you Chardon Hilltopper football. The opponent tonight, Villa Angela St. Joseph, the Vikings. Jamie Ward with you, Matt Jaworski as well. And Matt, these two teams, of course, these programs, former Division II state champions, the Vikings in 1989 and the Toppers in 1994. And these two teams also met last in 1988 in the playoffs in Mentor. Chardon a winner 3-0 in that game, but of course that was years ago, and we fast forward to today. And what are your thoughts?
A lot has changed. Coach John Story still the head coach for Villa Angela, and Chardon still running the wing T. We could maybe have a 3-0 game tonight.
Yeah, you're right.
But no, it should be a really interesting game tonight. Chardon coming off their first win of the year over Benny, 31-28, and then Villa Angela off their second win, beating Tuscarawas Central Catholic. So it should be a really interesting contest, and the Toppers looking to go now for 2 in a row against 2 Cuyahoga County Catholic schools. That's
right. We are waiting the teams to come out. The Chardon Hilltoppers are over and getting set to come out. They did, in fact, win the toss, and they elected to defer to the second half. So the Vikings will receive the ball, and there are your Chardon Hilltoppers. Head coach Jim DePofi in his 10th season. Of course, he's been in the program a lot longer than that. Jaws, you know, DePofi was here under the Doyle years. He understands this. The wing T's kept everything in place and kept what is the Chardon tradition. He once said to me, the wing T is like the Yankee stripes. It's just that's what Chardon football is.
Well, that is what Chardon football is, and we're going to be seeing from the Vikings tonight, not exactly wing T, but we're going to see a running offense from these Vikings. They're going to put the ball in the air a little bit, but right now Coach Story is focusing on getting that ground attack going early on in this season.
Vikings also taking the field. We talk about John Story, the head coach for the Vikings, and he is in fact a great story. Here he was coach of this school from 1964 to 1994, 30 years before finally he made the jump to collegiate football at John Carroll, where you had a chance to meet him, Jaws, and then took a couple years off, and now he's back on the sidelines in his 4th season.
Yeah, Villa Angela has had a lot since John Story left back in 1994. There's been a lot of turmoil in terms of the coaching staff, but he's come back and he's really solidified this Villa Angela program. The numbers have been down, but they're actually on an upswing from where they were at their low point. And it's tougher when you're a Catholic school, of course, because you can only rely on what you have in an enrollment.
Yeah, when you talk about tough times, we're really talking about a generational thing. We talked about the Vikings who won the state championship in 1989. They were a Division II school then. Now, with the enrollment of the boys at the school, they have dropped to Division V today, and have been for a few years. Chardon again will kick off. Tyler Hogan is the kicker. He's a junior. Interesting, Matt, that Hogan is going to put the ball on the near hash, on the far right hash, to start things off.
Clinton James, Ryan Gallagher, and I believe the other returners, Tim Harrison down there for VASJ.
We are underway, ball in the air, and it will come to Ryan Gallagher. Near side, he's got a couple blocks, and he has broken it to the near side all the way across field. 50 to the 40, and Tyler Hogan, the kicker, brings him down, not the way Chardon wanted to start.
Jamie, there's a reason why the kicker waits back. He's that safety valve, and right there, Tyler Hogan did a great job, forced the returner to take that angle he didn't want to take, and Hogan made a great touchdown-saving tackle.
So, 32-yard line is where VASJ will start. And we take a look at their starting lineup today. First, the offensive line, number 75, Kevin Cole, a senior. Left guard is Deontay Jackson, a junior. The center, Dan Ward. Right guard, Tim Harrison. Right tackle, Adam Scott. Actually, right guard is Adam Scott. Tim Harrison is the setback, and he will get the ball running right side. A lot of room again. He picks up 10, 15 yards on the first carry.
Harrison, a big pickup, and gets that first down, Jamie. And just like that, Villa Angela going on that right side. And you're going to want to continue the starting lineup.
Yeah, that was behind. Scott was the guard. At the right tackle is Edward Basemore. Playing some tight end today will be Mike Braitley. We've already mentioned Harrison. Clinton James will be another setback, as will the quarterback, Daryl Jones, a senior. This time he fakes the give and keeps it himself. Topper's there to round him up 2 yards on the carry. If you look at, you mentioned that the Vikings like to run the ball, and that's true. And they also like to spread the wealth around, Matt. You look at Clinton James and Tim Harrison receive the bulk of the carries, but they also have Devin Bolden and Daryl Jones, the quarterback himself, all carry the ball. And actually all 4 of those backs have over 200 yards. And this time you saw there is Clinton James straight ahead at 2 more yards.
Yeah, Clinton James, he's the runner who's going to be that change of pace back. He will burn you initially with that speed, and he'll use that speed just to blow straight through that hole. He's not the back that's going to beat you up and pound you through the hole, but certainly he can get to the hole quick.
James, 286 yards. That's tops on the team. Almost 7 yards a carry. Also has 6 touchdowns. 3rd and 6 for the Vikings. Jones, shotgun. Drops back, throwing a slant, and it's too low. His intended receiver, number 85.
He's looking for Flanagan.
Yeah, that's DeMonte Flanagan, who's listed as 87 on the roster, so we'll make that change. And it's 4th and 6. Vikings will go.
Oh, it'll be a 4th down try. 4th and 6, Jamie.
Trips to the left. One setback. Jones is going to throw it. Now he's going to scramble. Gets by the defense. He'll have the first down across the 10 to the 5 and out of bounds at the 4-yard line. But there is a flag.
I believe it could be a face masking call.
That's the general area. Looks to be a first down. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the Toppers. It's not going to hurt them much. Half the distance to the goal will move it to about the 1.5-yard line, where it's 1st and goal for the Vikings. Coming up in the I formation. They've got James as the setback. They'll give it quickly to Harrison, but he is stopped.
Maybe a yard there. They're going to say no gain. Well, no, they do give him 1 yard.
10 minutes to play first quarter. Thanks for joining us here on GTV. Toppers at a point in their season here in week 4 where they can go almost one of 2 ways. Fumble on the snap, and Jones is able to fall on top of it. So it'll be 3rd and goal now from about the 3-yard line.
Jamie, I don't think we've had a chance to introduce the Chardon defense as well. Get that in there. We're going to see among the players, we'll go the defensive line here. Eric Pavlik, Bobby Tropf, Travis Ritt, Chris Lessler, Will Blankenship, and Anthony Bacchial. The linebacking core, Nick Ruckel, Quinn Izar, Tom Izar, Paul Judd, and Eric Meyerhoff.
On the trips, the give is to Harrison, who runs it in for a touchdown, and the Vikings lead 6-0 with 9:14 to play first quarter.
Now that 3-yard run caps off that tremendous return by Gallagher.
Short
really
field
got
position.
Going.
32 yards the Vikings go on the score, and for Harrison, it's his 3rd touchdown this season. Now, it'll be interesting to see who the kicker is. And it's a left-footed kicker who has missed the extra point, wide right, number 10. is Anthony Siwanek. There was an issue with the kicker prior to the game, and so unsure who was going to be. But, Jaws, that is probably one of the worst ways Chardon could have started this football game.
It wasn't pretty, but Chardon, they hung tough. They forced him into a couple third down situations, and were burned on the fourth down. If Chardon can take anything away from this, is that if the Topper offense can get on the field, can get a little bit of a drive going, and put up 7, they're back in the lead. And that's the importance of getting in there and pressuring that kicker on the PAT. That is a big point regardless.
It is. Coming out for the Toppers are the 2 guys at the back. Looks like one is number 25. But Ruckel is the guy, the lone back, and then you've got Nick Coy, who's on the far side of the field. Nick Coy, who's been nursing an ankle injury, not quite 100%, but is in the game. He was out last game. So the Vikings low kickoff, and it hit one of the Toppers, so it's a live ball. Well, it's always a live ball, but it changed the direction. Chardon, though, able to jump on top of it, and they'll have good field position here for their opening drive.
I have a story to tell about a Friday night football game I just did involving the kickoffs, but I'll let you introduce the Chardon offense.
Well, the offense is going to be not 100% sure who will have across the offensive line. Anthony Bacchio will be the center. We know Will Blankenship will play a guard, as will Bobby Trofe. And then some of the, we'll wait to see about the tackles. Unsure. We do know, though, that Dan Beliveau is the starting quarterback, left-hander, very explosive player. First give is to the fullback, Zach Berry. Berry, a lot of carries in this wing T offense. Looks like he has about 4 yards.
Powers his way.
You're going to see Barry get a lot of carries. You're going to see John Connick and Nate Coy as the guys who will be set, the tailbacks. And then you're going to see Archie Kimbrough and Nick Ruckel.
And Ruckel just came into the game as a wide out.
He's there on the far side of the field, and referee throws a flag. That's usually not a good sign for Chardon, and it will back them up on a false start. Oh, we just received word from a guy up here who's taping the game that, what was it? If there were no false starts, Beliveau was going to buy dinner?
Second down 11, Chardon.
Well, that didn't take long for that bet to transpire.
Well, apparently no one wants to eat.
In motion is Connick running, and boy, he's swallowed up very quickly. John Connick. He's got 17 attempts, 74 yards this season.
-5 on that carry.
Yeah, that will bring up a third down and long, 14 yards.
Want to run down the Viking defense real quick. The line across, Deontay Jackson, Kevin Cole, Adam Scott, Mike Braitley. The linebacking core outside, Rodney Burson, Clinton James. Inside, Tim Harrison, R.J. Harmon, and Kwame Sawyer. And
Connick was in motion, and here's Barry. He's got a lot of running room and a first down. Great run. All the way to the 45 for the senior. No, junior, I'm sorry. Sometimes Barry, who's such a tough and physical player, had a chance to talk to him throughout the season. So much respect for him. In fact, he started out last year in a cast. Still came to practice, though, and I'll let you finish up the defense.
Well, Ryan Gallagher and Daryl Jones make up the secondary.
So 1st and 10 from the 45. Toppers trailing 6-0. As we approach the 7-minute mark, this time Beliveau will fake it, keep it, avoids the sack, and just throws it.
Picked off.
It was intercepted right into the hands of Clinton James, and he had to tightrope that sideline.
He did, but he did a tremendous job of picking that one off.
So Toppers have to go back on defense.
Would like to remind everyone that this cablecast is funded by your cable subscriber franchise fees, and we'd like to again extend thanks to all the GTV funding communities, including those not funding tonight's telecast, for your year-round support. They are Burton Village, Chardon Township, the City of Chardon, Hamden Township, Middlefield Village, and Munson Township. Thanks again for supporting GTV, and thanks to all the viewers for your wonderful support.
Give is to Clinton James, and he goes backwards. A lot of Toppers in on the tackle there. Saw Tom Izar for Chardon. Izars are brothers, both Tom and Quinn Izar. They'll both be playing linebacking positions, middle backers. Topper Jaws have really gone back to a 4-3 defense. They went away from it for a few years, but Coach DePofi said the talent has brought it back. Is again, the give is to James right side. Not much room for him. He gets a few yards, give him 2.
James, a lot of running there. He definitely got back the yards that he lost. Picked up a few more after that. Should be about a 3rd down and maybe 8.
Last time Vikings were in a 3rd down situation, it was Jones himself who carried the ball, being down on the field before the game. I got to tell you, Matt, Darrell Jones, 6 feet 2 inches, 200-pound senior, is a big quarterback. He's got a good arm. There he is again. He's going to keep it across the 45, 50, and that's a 1st down. He breaks a tackle, and all the way on the near side, Ruckel comes in and makes the tackle. A couple other guys help, but that's a large gain for the Vikings.
52-yard pickup for the quarterback.
You saw what Jones can do when the thing goes away. Now 5:27 and counting, 1st quarter. Vikings again on the move. They'll use the 3 wide receivers to the right side. Running back is Tim Harrison. He gets the carry. Left side, and now referee throws a flag. That's going to be a holding call.
Yeah, that'll be coming back. And, boy, you go back to that last play, just some weird routes that the defensive players were taking to get to that ball carrier. But this is one thing that when you look at Villa Angela St. Joe, coming into this year, they had rushed in the 3 previous games for a couple yards under 1,000, 997. And they've certainly smashed that, now over 1,000 yards rushing on the year as a team for VASJ.
Mike Hayes is the referee, and he'll march the Vikings back, and it'll set up a long 1st down. 1st and 22. Other officials today, Tom Koshak, Jimmy Dimitri, Barry Wilson, and Mark Heineke make out the staff. And we were told before the game, Matt, that Heineke's nickname is Frankenstein. He's the back judge. And that came from his colleagues. So long throw looking for the end zone, and it's intercepted by Ruckel.
Nice job by Ruckel. He saw that all the way, planted himself right there in the end zone. And just like that, that initial interception goes for naught.
Great play by the junior. 6 feet, 160 pounds. He will spell Bellevue and play some quarterback as well.
Well, he helped his fellow QB out there. And just like that, the Toppers will come back out on their own 20-yard line, and let's see what they can do. Now, they're up against the defense, Jamie. When you look at VASJ, has only allowed 446 yards coming into tonight's game on the ground overall. So Chardon, if they're going to win, they have to do something that a lot of teams haven't done, and there's a flag. Yeah,
false start on Barry. Although there was some movement with the Vikings as well, so we'll see how the officials sort this out.
Well, jumping across was Kwame Sawyer, and he was the one that basically had the flag come out because he was encroaching the quarterback right there. Early indication is will be against the Vikings.
There's going to be a huddle. They'll figure the whole thing out. Take a moment to mention the other Hilltoppers. No, it will go against Chardon. Hilltopper, the other assistant coaches are Jim Britt, Frank Hall, Tim Pullman, Don Novotzik, Marty Makar, J.P. Emmond and T.J. Brzezowski. 4:49. First quarter. Toppers first and 15. Barry, Connick, and Coy. 3 backs in the wing tee. Coy in motion. Give is to Barry. He gets hit hard. Great stick there provided by number 36 for the Vikings. Once again, a number not on our roster that we were given, so our apologies.
Well, the PA announcers gave it to Kwame Sawyer. But Sawyer's 3, so not...
Second down, 14. Beliveau under center. This time it'll be Connick. Fakes to him, and this play worked for big yardage on the last drive. This time, though, again, Barry swallowed up, and it'll be third down and long. Jaws, it's always hard for Chardon in third and long situations because, as we know, they're not a team who likes to pass the ball. They're not really comfortable doing that. Beliveau has only thrown the ball 34 times on the season, completed 15 of them. He's thrown 3 interceptions.
Jamie, this is where the wing tee can really hurt you. If you cannot get those, pick up 6 yards or so in the first 2 downs, essentially the old 3 yards in a pile of dust theory there. If you can't do that, you're going to really pin yourself back. And now you have to hope that you can rely on a good quarterback to pass that ball.
Timeout on the field called by the Vikings. We'll take a timeout too. Stay with us here on GTV. So 3rd and 14, and we mentioned already Chardon not liking to pass the ball, and I should say that Beliveau today is 0 for 1 with an interception, so he has 4 on the year. Coy is in motion. He's going to drop back and roll to his left, avoids one man, throws it deep. He had Ruckel open, but he threw it behind him, and Ruckel had to come back, and so then the play is made by Rodney Burse, the junior, and Chardon will have to punt.
Was just a bit underthrown. Otherwise, he had a touchdown waiting.
Yeah, and you have to wonder with Beliveau first avoiding that initial guy, and it looked like he probably threw from his back foot.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if he did that. When you're dropping back, sometimes it's the only thing that you could do just to get the ball off. But Beliveau, though, did a nice job in getting the receiver. The receiver almost didn't come back enough at that point to the football. But
good punt by Jacob Hirsch. Rolling, takes a topper bounce all the way to the 38-yard line, and that's where the Vikings will start in their 3rd possession.
This Topper defense has had some give to it, but for the most part, it's not really broken when they've been in a long field. Of course, that initial touchdown came on a very condensed field for VASJ, and second time they touched the ball, they had probably about double that length to go, and it resulted in an interception. We'll see what can happen here.
It is a beautiful night here at Euclid High School. We're at Sparky DiBiasio Stadium. Sparky D, what the PA announcer called it before the game. Shotgun Jones fakes it, running right, lot of room again. Across the 40, 45, stutter steps, still on his feet, and all the way down to the 42-yard line. Chardon is not tackling well.
Tremendous move along the sidelines. What a tiptoe act. That is just a great job by Darryl Jones. And, you know, Jamie, sometimes you just have to tip your cap to the runner because, you know, when you bust out some fancy moves, a lot of times you can get some good yardage there.
19 yards for Jones, and that's going to help his average. Coming in, he averaged over 7 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns rushing. Does not throw the ball a whole lot. He's kind of like Beliveau in that regard.
I have him at 84 yards up to this point in time.
That's a great beginning. The give is to the left side. That's James. He started by going backwards and will run out of bounds after a gain of about 3 yards.
Great tackle by the outside linebacker, Eric Meyerhoff, who came out there and wrapped him up and limited James. James made a good move to that near side. and just couldn't get past the topper.
Second down and 8. Mike.
Chardon wants to avoid, though, Meyerhoff and guys like Ruckel getting a lot of tackles, because that means that the Vikings have gotten into the secondary. 3 wide receivers set again. Quick drop, throw, and he's got his man complete. Great tackle by Ruckel. Boy, he wouldn't go down. Again, that's DeMonte Flanagan.
Yeah, DeMonte Flanagan ran a nice little route there. Was able to cut back and picked up a good couple yards. First completion of the night, Jamie.
3rd down and 5. Well, first completion to their own team, which is always the goal, right?
3 on the play. 3rd down and 5.
Only a gain of 3, but that'll bring up a 3rd down and 5. And Villa Angela 0 for 2 on 3rd downs.
Shotgun, 3 wide receivers. Lone setback is Harrison. Drops back, and we've seen this again. 3rd down, he likes to keep it, but this time the Toppers will stop him about 2 yards shy. We'll see what Coach John Story decides to do in this situation.
John Connick. Gain of 3 yards on the play.
Certainly too long for a field goal attempt, and you might not get a lot of yards with the punt. So don't you think, Matt, this is probably a no-brainer? You have to go for it here?
Absolutely. You're in this area where it's not really going to hurt anything. You're going to keep yourself within good range. A punt here is almost impossible to do unless you're really going to go for that coffin corner kick.
Kwame Sawyer is one of the wide receivers, the farthest one, and the fake. Jones has it, and he's going to go, and let's see where the spot. This is going to be very close.
I think he's short.
I think you might be right, although it depends on, yes, he is, absolutely. No need for a measurement or anything, so the Topper defense comes through. And they'll start on the 33-yard line.
I think that was Quinn Izar who made that initial stop.
Quinn is a junior, as is his brother Tom. Both linebackers, and the Toppers start things off again. 33-yard line. Connick in motion. The give is to Barry. He breaks a tackle, and then he is stopped. Number 36 for St. Joe's, or VASJ, I guess. You know, just talking to people about this game, still a lot of people just say St. Joe's. I think that's kind of accepted.
Well, and part of it is when it comes to when Villa Angela and St. Joe's merged many years ago, you know.
Well, why don't we pick this up, because the first quarter has just ended. Chardon trails 6-0, but the Toppers have been making some progress. Keep it here for the second quarter on GTV. So we're back to start the second quarter, and Matt, just as what we were saying, or what you were saying, was about St. Joe's. And
when these two teams merged, a lot of people just continue to recognize the St. Joe's name, especially when it comes to football. Villa Angela being an all-girls Catholic school didn't field the football team, so this really is a St. Joe's team, if you will.
2nd down and 5 for Chardon.
Although a lot of the female alumnus will always say Villa Angela.
As they should. The give, Belleville fakes it, and he's going to take it. He breaks it, 35-30. He's got one man to beat. 10, and he will get pushed down to the ground at the 8-yard line. But that was a great run by the senior.
Rodney Burst was the only Viking who was able to make that tackle, and that was...
Let's give Burst a little bit of credit, actually, because Belleville was gone, and Burst didn't give up, and more importantly, took a great angle. So it's 1st down and goal from the 8-yard line.
That was a 54-yard run.
Coy's in motion. We haven't seen him with a carry yet. Barry, right side, and he gets across the 5 down to the 4 yards on the carry.
Nice run up the middle. We'll pick up a couple yards and be 2nd down and 4. And Chardon only down by 6. Villa Angela up 6-0.
Opportunity for the Toppers to take the lead. Good crowd on hand, although these bleachers are so large, it swallows them up for the most part. Chardon as always travels well. Coy in motion. Fake. Beliveau right side. He slipped through one defender, but probably got a yard, maybe two.
Well, Beliveau looks like he's down inside the two, somewhere close to the one. And Jamie, now you look at third down, and Chardon just ticking off a couple yards, and if they can do that once more, twice more, they'll find themselves in the end zone.
Important play here, and Coach DePofi is going to take a timeout to talk about it. We will too. Stay here on GTV. Well, an important play early on in this one. Third down and goal. Connick in motion. Beliveau with the give, and across the goal line for the touchdown is John Connick. No, Zach Berry, my apologies. Nevertheless, it's a score for Chardon, and they've tied the game at 6.
Great run by the Toppers. That offensive line opened up that hole. And Jamie, this drive here, you need to talk about that offensive line because the O-line did their job in opening up and making room for that wing T to operate. And just like that, this game is now tied at 6.
Kyler Hogan, the kicker, can give Chardon the lead.
And this is a very important PAT.
Good snap and hold, and it is good.
No
Hilltoppers lead 7-6. Sorry, Matt.
I was going to say, no doubt about it, Chardon in control right now.
This is interesting. When you look at the Vikings this season in the 4 quarters and the way that they've scored, 3 out of 4 quarters they've outscored their opponents. But if you look at the second quarter, Matt, 41 points for the opponents. They've given up 7 points in the first quarter, 13 points in the third, and only 7 in the fourth. But on the year, they've given up 41 points in the second quarter. We see it again. I don't know how you'd even explain something like that.
Well, a couple of reasons. Number one is by the time the second quarter starts, generally you've seen the opposing team a couple times. Each team has had the ball, usually 1 or 2 drives, and adjustments you can start making adjustments. I would go and make an assumption that, perhaps Villa Angela hasn't done a good enough job in making those adjustments to leading to the 41 points. Now, on the other side of things, I'm not sure when you look at the turnovers in the exact situations, maybe some key turnovers in a short field could lead to those points too.
Low lining kick. It's picked up by Kwame Sawyer, but he had a knee on the ground when he did.
All right, I had a quick story. Covered the Euclid St. Vincent St. Mary game last night here from Sparky D for the News Herald. And Euclid 3 times tried a pooch kick. The last time they tried one was the beginning of the second half. And it looked like Euclid recovered the pooch kick, but the officials ruled that one of the up men for the Irish waved his hands in a somewhat manner just below his helmet, didn't bring his arms above his shoulders in a fair catch signal.
Wow.
Which normally that would not be honored.
Right. No, you're right. And now we have the Vikings are going over to the sidelines, and one of the officials is running over, and something has happened here, and I don't know exactly what it is. They're going to actually, looks like they're going to re-kick.
That is it. They are re-kicking.
And for what reason?
Well, they're telling John Story this right now and Jim DePofi, but word will eventually leak back up here.
Yeah, that'll be something we probably find out at halftime, but I've never seen that before, so.
Wow.
Inadvertent whistle was the call. We just heard from assistant coach Don Novotzik. So an inadvertent whistle, which I don't believe it's not. You don't just re-kick, although maybe you do during a kickoff because you can't.
Well,
there's really nothing else you can do because the ball was in the air when the whistle was blown, right? So
Jamie, all the other inadvertent whistles I saw when the whistle blows, the play stops dead. And tough call by the officials.
Well, the kick is, again, this is a good one. On the ground, and now it's fumbled. Diving after it was number 25, and that's Harrison.
Harrison did recover the football, and I guess for this time it did benefit the Toppers. And
Yeah, that was a strange kick. Great job by Hogan to send a strange kick in the direction of Harrison. He could not handle it. So 24-yard line is where the Vikings will start.
those line drive bouncing balls are often the toughest to field. You're used to looking up and catching it and coming down and not having to play goalkeeper, if you will, and let the ball go behind you.
I formation. The give is the right side. Breaking tackles is James, and he'll have a first down across the 35 to the 36-yard line.
Tremendous job by James. He found a hole and opened it up, but there is a Viking down.
Yeah, Viking down, and he takes his helmet off. We'll take a break here on GTV and give you an update when we come back. Well, the junior, Edward Basemore, the right tackle, has been taken from the field. Looks like a leg injury, Matt, but...
Yeah, near ankle probably, and that's just unfortunate for this Viking team. They are a little bit short up front to begin with, and now one of their better offensive linemen goes down, and not quite sure who they're going to send out to replace him. That will definitely be a little bit of a...
We'll keep our eye out on that, but he does have good size over there. 10-23 and counting. 1st and 10 for the Vikings. The give is to James, and he is hit and immediately stopped. Great job. I think that's Eric Pavlik,
No, it
number
is.
52.
Blitz coming in. Pavlik just did a tremendous job in beating the ends over there.
So the no gain brings up 2nd down and 10. Now under 10 minutes to play in the second quarter. 7-6. Jamie Ward is with you, and as is Matt Jaworski. Glad you're watching Chardon Hilltopper football here on GTV.
Nice that you guys finally come up in my neck of the woods.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Jones under center. Fakes the give. He's going to drop back. 2 Chardon players in his face, and he will just have to throw the ball away.
Wow.
And a flag
is
going to be thrown because there was nobody around.
Jamie, that's twice now that Chardon has brought everybody, and that offensive line from Villa Angela just not able to hold up right now.
So that penalty, you'll lose a down on that one, and you'll get penalized from the spot of the foul, so that's going to go way, way back. That's a very costly penalty that Jones just made.
Well, the Viking that's coming in to replace Basemore is number 61, and there's no 61 on the roster.
Well,
so not sure who the young man is. But boy, Chardon twice now has just done a tremendous job in bringing the blitz and bringing the guys up front. Now, 4th down and forever.
It's a long, long way more than 20, that's for sure. VASJ clearly has to go ahead and punt this ball away. The punter is number 29, Mike Braitley, a senior. And Nick Ruckel will be back to return. And a flag, delay game is the call on the Vikings, so go ahead and move them back 5 more yards. The scoreboard, whoever's operating it, still hasn't updated the yardage, Matt, and it's difficult to see. I mean, it's that far.
Well,
they have to get to the 46-yard line.
At this point, if the punter can get it to where the first down marker is, that would be just amazing in itself.
They rushed hard. Gets it away. Ruckel touched the ball, and he fumbles it, and it's picked up by Dan Ward, and he takes it down to the 25-yard line.
Dan Ward, who's the long snapper, the second guy down there, and picked up a huge, huge turnover. And boy, that's not what the Toppers needed.
No, Ward will never forget that play. He doesn't have a chance to make big plays like that very often. Ruckel, though, had to see those guys coming, and boy, did he take a hit.
Well, that's the one downside if you're a returner is you have to be able to take those licks, and that time, Jamie, sometimes if the shoulder pad just hits you the right way, there's not much you can do.
Now they're going backward, and I'm not sure why.
I think they're going to say his knee was down when he picked up the football. And that's what it is.
So when Ward recovered it?
They said when the ruling is when he recovered the ball, his knee must have been close enough to the ground that the officials felt he had touched the ground.
Well, Chardon is going to take a timeout. We will too. Vikings ball when we return. So welcome back. We got an update from our executive producer, I guess, right, Matt? Dave Jevnikar said you can't advance a muffed kick. And so really, Ruckel never even had that ball is what that tells you. And so this is where the Vikings will start. The fake give and a lot of running room for Jones. Breaking tackles, 25, and finally goes down to the 24-yard line.
And that's one of those calls that you can see. The closer you are to the field, we're, of course, on top of the press box here at Sparky D.
It is a beautiful night, though, up here. 25 yards on the carry. Clock will start again, 9:06 and counting. 2 turnovers for Chardon so far. The interception and then the muffed punt.
I have Daryl Jones now at 113 yards.
He's having a huge day. James running on the right side, and there are some toppers there to bring him down.
James will pick up about 5, maybe 6, and all of a sudden, this Viking offensive line shoring itself up. And sometimes, Jamie, that's what it takes. You lose a good player, and it takes a couple plays just to get everything set and back in order and get used to the guy who's playing next to you.
Backiel and Barry were on that last tackle. Second down and a long 5. 2 receivers. On the far side, it's Kwame Sawyer. He's the farthest one. Snap. And the fake. And he'll keep it and get down to about the 15 or right before the 15. 14-yard line is where the spot will be, bringing up a 3rd and short.
Daryl Jones has done a nice job just kind of picking his way here and there and gaining some yards when he's run up the middle. They're going to say only about 2 yards on that play. So 3rd and 3 for the Vikings.
Tailback is Tim Harrison. Look for Jones to either fake or maybe keep himself. He's going to give it. Oh, and Harrison is swallowed up. Big loss on the play.
What a great job.
Lou Lamauga, senior defensive lineman.
He blew up that play.
Boy, that's a 6-yard loss, and now it's 4th down and 9. And this is another situation. It seems like every time VASJ gets in a 4th down situation, they are kind of forced to go for it.
The one thing in looking at the numbers that they have not done this year is kick the field goal. And when you cannot do that, Jamie, that really leaves your offense stranded because basically you've just given, you give up almost 1/3 of a touchdown, and you kind of have to go for broke.
Here they go. Throw is going into the end zone, and it is, knocked
Broken
around
up.
and almost caught. Clinton James almost came away with that ball, and a late flag is going to come in, and they're probably going to call Chardon for interference.
Well, I thought Riley Hawkins did a great job in getting his hand in there. But
85 was DeMonte Flanagan. He was the intended receiver. It did look like he was shoved. But let's see what...
The officials really have been letting the receivers and the defensive backs be physical in this game.
Never mind. It's a 1st down for Chardon. No flag on the play. And so with 6:42 in the 2nd quarter, the Hilltoppers will take over.
No, Villa Angela is now 0 for 3 on 4th downs. So good job by the Topper defense to buckle down on 4th down and hold those Vikings. And out comes that Chardon defense up 7-6, Jamie. You got the feeling that if they can just put a nice run together and bust off a chunk of clock, they'd be happy and just ecstatic to go into that locker room with a 14-6 lead.
10 Hilltoppers. From the row, 37.
Coy is in motion. His first carry around the right side, and he has about 5 yards. Good, strong carry from the senior, who is probably Jaws the fastest kid in Geauga County. He's a standout sprinter, especially at the 200-meter. And like I had mentioned, he had missed his last game. He's still not at 100%, but that ankle is good enough for him to play tonight. And it's second down and about 6 yards. Give. Connick running right side. A great tackle was made. If he could have beaten Sawyer there, he would have had a lot of room, but Sawyer makes the tackle, 3rd down and 4.
Was a good open field tackle, pick up a couple of yards. And Chardon again in a third, I'll say a 3rd and mid situation here, not exactly 3rd and long.
3rd down and 3. Hilltoppers.
But the one thing that that Chardon really hasn't done too much is when they've given it to the backs, to see the backs run to this near side. A lot of it's been to that right side of their line.
Oh, and the give is to Barry up the middle. One Viking defender got into the backfield very quickly. Credit Beliveau for getting the handoff off, but he's going to be stopped maybe a yard.
R.J. Harmon nearly took that handoff himself. And he came in on a blitz, untouched, and just a good job by the top quarterback and the running back to get that ball off and just even pick up a couple yards.
Special teams in. Jacob Kirsch is the Hilltopper punter on 4th and 2. 4:50 and counting here remaining before halftime. Good snap, and Kirsch gets off another pretty good punt. Ruckel runs it down, and once again a great roll, and the Vikings will start at their own 20-yard line.
Jamie, we've kind of settled in now to a defensive contest. We saw the couple offenses early on bust off some big plays here or there, but now for the most part things have settled down, and these two teams are really looking to slug it out in the trenches.
Yeah, and this is what we saw. Granted, it was 1988, but that year Chardon VASJ in the playoffs at Menor, and as we mentioned, Chardon won that game 3-0. That year they would go on to beat Solon in the next round and then eventually lose to Akron Buchtel.
All right, Jamie, I'm going to play that game. Where were you in 1988, in the school year of 1988?
Oh, I don't. Kindergarten, I think, man.
Yeah, that's where I was.
Yeah. That just gave away our age. Carey was up the middle and 2 yards. Be about 2nd down and 8.
James with the 22 yards on the ground. Clock running at just a little bit over 4 minutes to play. This really has now become the kind of contest that Chardon wants it to be.
Yeah, you're right. And now left side, Clinton James, and once again he swarmed and stopped.
Now he may have lost both yards he gained before. Now they're going to say loss of 1.
Both of these teams, like you have said, committed to the run. They've got guys who can throw the ball. I was watching Jones before the game. He's really got a great arm. In fact, his hands are so big, man, that he doesn't grip the laces. He just grabs right in the middle of the ball, no laces. Beliveau, of course, has a great arm, too, as a lefty. Coach Zapofi has talked about throwing the ball more. Haven't really seen that.
Well, Darrell Jones, 6 of 23, 2 picks, 350 yards.
3rd and 9 over the top. His intended target was Flanagan. Throw, though, was too much, and it's 4th and 9. Vikings will be forced to punt.
You know, I'm almost, and this is just speaking kind of off the cuff here, Jones, when he goes to college, is going to get looked at as a running back and not a quarterback.
Well, he's got great size. A lot of those guys, I mean, we talk about Flanagan. He's been an intended receiver a few times. That kid is 6'6", 215 pounds. He is a basketball player, I'm willing to bet for sure. Another low-lining kick, and this time Nick Ruckel is going to move backward. probably the right idea.
No, I can't blame him. The other thing, too, is Villa Angela over the last decade or so has really become a basketball school. And you know, with all due respect to former coach Dave Wojciechowski, who, there's a lot of issues that went on there, this school really does now gear towards basketball. And that's what they do. And, it's a long cry from when the Svelbars were here, and Mike Svelbar piloted VASJ to the, I think it was in maybe 04 or 05, maybe 06, into the state championship game where they came up short.
Toppers will start at the 43-yard line. Bellevaux is going to drop back to pass. Throwing, and it's a good one, but just a little bit low. And it was not brought in. His intended target, number 21, who is Paul Judd.
Judd just was a little bit too far out in front and had a tough time coming back to it and had to kind of dive back.
So
it's nice to see, though, Chardon just throw the football every now and then, because you do need to stretch that field out. And that's something where you look at the Vikings offense right now. They're bogged down because Chardon has 9, 10 guys in the box.
The give is to Barry, and he has good yards up the middle, about 6.
Yeah, Zach Barry, a great run there, and he's moving his way to about 34 or 35 yards. 33 yards on the night.
Clock is running now, under 2:40. Toppers on top 7-6 in what is, as you said, Matt, the game has slowed down. Both teams committed to the run, getting small chunks of yards at a time. Really, Chardon, aside from that long run by Bellevaux. And Barry also broke one for more than 10. Other than that, though, it's been in small steps. Bellevaux's going to pass again, and he has a target. It is Barry. Long gain across the 35 to the 33-yard line.
Tremendous job by Chardon. A great call. And Barry, I have that being the first reception of the night.
Yeah, I think that's right. Now 2:15 and counting. Well, it's not 2:16 actually on the dot. The clock is now running as the referee starts it. Toppers with 1 timeout remaining.
A big 17-yard pickup on 3rd down. And Chardon back to the ground game.
Give to Barry, no gain. Under 2 minutes now.
Kevin Cole in on that stop.
Ruckel will come into the game for Chardon.
Jamie, now's when you look at the clock and you look at the timeout situation, and Chardon had to burn a couple timeouts early. And yet you have to think that they are going to have to start throwing the ball a little bit more here unless they can bust off a big run.
Oh, they're in absolutely no hurry. Give is to Connick. We've seen that counter-type play a number of times. Connick across the 30. It's going to bring up a 3rd down, 5 yards, 1:20 and counting. Toppers seem pretty content to go into halftime with a 1-point lead here.
They will get the ball to start the 3rd quarter, but you figure this close in, you want to try to punch it in.
1:05 and counting. The give, no, Bellevaux's going to keep it. Oh, and a very late give.
He optioned it off, and that's a pretty dangerous move.
That was. Paul Judd was the carrier. He loses yards. Now 4th down, and a timeout is called by Chardon. Their last. We'll take a break here on GTV. Fourth down for Chardon. No timeouts, Matt, and they're going to go for it. Bellevaux drops. He throws, and it is dropped. Boy, that was a good pass right on target.
Well, that time, Bellevaux did an awesome job. He dropped back 3 steps, got the ball off, and Ruckel just watched it go off his numbers.
So the Vikings will take over. They have 2 timeouts, 46 seconds.
The good news, though, is, Jamie, when halftime comes around, Chardon gets the ball back. They just have to play some tough topper defense right now, and they've done a tremendous job in really limiting the Vikings to any type of offense.
Let's see what the
Vikings. That
Yeah, I'd be curious. I think you got a guy like Flanagan on the outside and you got an arm like Jones. I would probably try to throw a few balls down the field here, see what you can get.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. Villa Angela has 2 timeouts left. If they try to run the ball a couple times and then set up with a big pass.
Jones rolling right, and there we have it. Long throw down the field, and the catch is made. That is Devin Bolden.
What a job. Bolden went up for it. Had to go over a defensive back. Timeout on the field, 37 seconds left. Wow. Hey, Jamie, quick reminder that high school sports is part of our programming here on GTV. Our coverage will continue all year long for Berkshire, Cardinal, NDCL, and Chardon sports. We're just starting the fall coverage, and looking forward to all kinds of sports in the months ahead. Check out channels 20 and 22 on the GTV website, geaugatv.org, regularly for the replay dates and times. It's great programming every week on GTV, so stay tuned to Channel 20. And, of course, don't forget the Community and School Bulletin Board service provided 24 hours a day on GTV 20 and 22. And, of course, check out that website for details.
Vikings have taken their second timeout, man, and they'll talk things over. They're looking at a 1st and 10. They're about 32 yards away, and this is what you talked about earlier when you don't have a kicker. And Anthony Sawanek, while he attempted that extra point and missed it. And the reason I've said this before is when I asked for the roster, the athletic director at VASJ, who was incredible, by the way, Nancy Naujoks, have to give her a lot of credit, but she said we don't know who our kicker is going to be yet, and that was Thursday. So some indecision there. 1st and 10 now, though. Jones, straight drop. He's throwing deep, and it's over the head of Sawyer on that right side.
Yeah, a little interaction there between the corner and the receiver. That time they're looking for Kwame Sawyer, and Sawyer kind of, I think, may have stepped on a foot, and that slowed him down, but that'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Over on that side, that was number 33, Eric Meyerhoff, the corner here on the near side. Checking in, Sawyer.
1 timeout left for Villa Angela, and you have to feel that they're going to save that just in case the QB has to scramble and is forced to stay in bounds.
32 seconds. Jones, again, is going to drop back. Steps up in the pocket. Now he's going to run it. Breaking tackles. Boy, is he athletic. Across the 25, down to the 23. And the clock will stop because of the 1st down. So they need to get up now. 21 seconds. Quickly. Jones under center. Clock now running. 19 seconds. And the clock is stopped. And for what reason? Right now they're saying 2nd down, and the
chains weren't moved.
The chains never moved. I got to say that this staff.
Well, hold on. What happened was I think the chains moved and the clock moved.
Referees with over 100 years of experience, but things have not run very smoothly.
Yeah, they're looking for 20. The 6 seconds went off the clock. It was down to 15, and they want 21 back on, and they're going to give Villa Angela a chance. And
so now the clock is moving. 20 seconds and 19. Vikings still have a timeout. 15 seconds. Jones from the shotgun. Straight drop. Throwing into the end zone. Number 22, and it's through his hands with 8 seconds left.
Boy, the Vikings let a lot of time go by, Jamie. They let about 7 seconds run off the clock before they could snap it. And what that means is this should be the last play of the half.
Can't take that timeout over to the second half with you. So now we'll see what Jones is going to do. Really, you could elect to try to put something over the middle, but you'd only get a little bit closer. You're going to have to throw the ball into the end zone at some point.
If you had those 7 seconds back, you could do something like that. But here we go. Chardon looking to make one last defensive stand before halftime.
8 seconds. Sawyer on the near side. Dropping back. Throwing into the end zone, and again his intended target was Bolden, and now there are 3 seconds.
One more time. And now Coach John Story will take his final timeout, and with that we will take another timeout here on GTV.
So 3 seconds remain for the Vikings, and they're going to have 3 wide receivers on the near side and 1 on the far side. They need to throw the ball into the end zone. There's little doubt about that. Jones will drop back. He's got good protection. Throwing the ball high to the left side and way out of the back of the end zone. No chance there, Matt, and we're going to be at halftime. 7-6, Chardon lead. Enjoy the band. We'll be back for the second half.
Leslie Hummel. In the rocket tube by Fallout Boy, here is I Don't Care.
Well, teams on the field, out of the locker room, 12 minutes on the scoreboard. We get ready to start the third quarter. Thanks again for sticking with GTV, and I'm sure you enjoyed the band. They do such a wonderful job. Jamie Ward here with Matt Jaworski, and Matt Toppers will get the ball to start the second half, and you had a chance to look at some of the statistics.
Well, it not pretty. We'll get to that after this return.
Ruckel, the ball carrier, the one who picked up the kickoff. And he goes to the 35. That's where Chardon will start.
Chardon held for just over 120-some yards. I didn't officially add it up, but about 120 to 130 yards. The big two being Bellevue, who has 56 on the ground. And then, of course, Zach Berry has 41, 10 carries for 41 yards.
Berry got the majority.
Yeah, and Zach Berry also has the only reception of 17 yards. Chardon, 3 first downs in this contest. Seems like a lot more, but...
Give to Connick, has a lead blocker ahead, and he barrels forward, gets about 8 yards, second down and short. We've seen a little bit of Connick, a lot of Berry, not a lot of Coy. And really, Coy at this point has been used as a decoy. See if he gets some more carries in the second half. I'd imagine that he will. And I'd also expect Chardon to throw the ball a few more times here. Had a chance to talk with some of the assistant coaches, and they predicted a score to start this second half, and we'll see if that happens. Here is Coy. Breaks a tackle. Across the 50, 45. Coy with a stiff arm, and he goes down to the 37-yard line. Explosiveness through that line.
It was. And just a great job in cutting back in that open field, and he just plowed forward for about 19.
Second or third biggest play today for the Toppers. 1st and 10. We should get to this, Matt. Now there's 11 minutes in the third quarter, but it is the season of the Midge here in Cuyahoga County, and they are everywhere today, buzzing all around the lights, especially if you look up, you can see them whistle, flag will blow the play dead. And I had a chance, I went down to the field at halftime, and they're down there too. Those things are, I don't know.
I went down to get a booster dog. One of the big reasons to come here to Sparky D is the booster dog, just a tremendous hot dog. Will vouch for it every single day of my life, and they're over there too.
Yeah, they are.
They're not leaving us alone, Jamie.
I'm not sure if they're having any impact on the players. Probably not, but they might be just a little bit of an annoyance. There was a penalty against VASJ and offsides. It's 1st and 5 for Chardon. Fakes to Barry, and he'll keep it himself. Takes a stick, has a yard or two. And it'll be now 2nd down from the 30-yard line.
Toppers are just methodically now taking their time and really establishing themselves up front. And that's what I think they really worked hard on in that first half of the game, was just to really work those linemen and start to get them a little bit tired for Villa Angela. Villa Angela, a lot of guys play two ways, and that is tough.
Give is to Connick on the left side. He has a 1st down to the 25-yard line. I have to say, being up here, Matt, and this is something that quarterbacks in the wing T work really hard at, and Dan Beliveau is doing a great job. And, we're going to pause because there's a player down. We'll pick this up on the other side of this break on GTV. So Eric Pavlik was the injured topper. He's off the field. He went off on his own power, and he seems like he'll be fine. 1st and 10 for Chardon from the 25. Beliveau fakes, rolling left, looking into the middle of the field, and it is dropped a little bit behind Archie Kimbrough. Probably, though, a catch that he wishes he would have made.
Now, Kimbrough tried to get that one-handed, and not really much he could do. But, Jamie, you were starting to talk about the importance of the quarterback in his hands.
The hands of Beliveau, and they work so hard on this, especially in the wing T. I mean, Chardon goes to wing T camp, before the season starts, and it's so important to selling those fakes. And I've been faked out a few times today because Beliveau, it seems like he keeps the ball. Now, Chardon has to waste a timeout here early in the third quarter. So Coach DePofi will call a timeout. We'll take a break here on GTV. So, quickly, back at it. 9:35 is on the clock. Beliveau under center on 2nd and 10. Gives up the middle. Barry has about 12, 11 yards of 1st down. He's inside the 15.
On this drive so far, Jamie, Chardon has doubled their 1st downs from the first half. They are up to 6. And a nice 12-yard gain for Barry.
They're doing good. I think you had a great point. You are right about the Vikings and two-way players. Now, of course, all high school teams have two-way players, but most of those Vikings are playing both ways, and Chardon is pounding them. Play after play. Again, it's Barry. Even being stopped, he's able to pick up 2 or 3 yards, and a late penalty flag comes down. That's going to go against the Vikings.
Yeah, not good. That's just not a smart play whatsoever.
Falling down to the grass was 52, Eric Pavlik, and there was something after the play, and now there's another Viking down, so we will pause yet again on GTV. Well, the injured player was Nate Coy, senior number 6. And we know he's came in to this game with a hurt ankle. That's probably not going to help his chances of getting back in. Chardon, though, knocking at the door. 2nd down and 2. They're on the 6-yard line. Beliveau fakes, running left side, touchdown.
Well, hold on a second here. I think the official just threw a flag.
There is a flag, and it looks like it is going to go against Chardon. Wipe it away. That's costly. It really seems that these two teams, Matt, are playing similar styles. They seem to be of pretty similar talent levels, and so I think the loser of this game will be the one who makes mistakes like that, taking points off the board.
You know, Jamie, each of these squads, when you look at it, the holding call, penalty before that was Villa Angela's personal foul. There's a lot of dumb mistakes that you shouldn't be making at this point in the season. You're into your 4th game of the year. You should know better than make personal fouls. You should know better than to commit a holding penalty right near the end zone. When you're
a little trickery, and that's going to be number 21, and he gets inside for the touchdown. Paul Judd, Jr., running back. Looked like Connick first took it, and then he gave it to Judd. And the Hilltoppers are on the board again, 13 points now.
Nice job by Judd as he just exploded through the line. And, Jamie, this is a huge PAT here, because if this is the case and Chardon can convert on the PAT, it's going to force Villa Angela, if Villa Angela scores a touchdown, to go for 2.
Muddle huddle. Used by Chardon, and here they're going to get running some trickery. This is important. Ruckel rolling right, throwing, and it is bobbled and out of the back of the end zone. No good.
Oh, boy, he could have probably run that in himself.
Judd was the intended receiver, and Chardon fails on the conversion. You're right. That's a big play.
Now, I'm going to say this. I love the fact that Chardon just tried to do that, because right there, you're going for the kill. You're saying, okay, we're going to make you beat us now by scoring twice.
You're right, and it would have been important. Now, it's probably a strong argument that if the Vikings do score another touchdown, they're unlikely to attempt another extra point, because they may just not have any confidence at all in their kickers. So maybe it didn't matter one way or the other. Vikings may go for 2. We'll see. Chardon hopes to keep them out of the end zone. But that's a good way to start the second half.
Oh, it's tremendous. Jamie, want to mention that tonight's Cablecast is funded by your cable subscriber franchise fees. And we'd like to, again, extend thanks to all the funding communities, especially those, including those not funding tonight's contest, for your year-round support. And the funding communities are Burton Village, Chardon Township, the City of Chardon, Hamden Township, Middlefield Village, and Munson Township. As always, thanks for supporting GTV, and thanks to our wonderful viewers for your support, which has been absolutely wonderful.
So Hogan will kick off for Chardon. They lead 13-6, 8:54 to play in the third quarter. Back for the Vikings is Clinton James, number 7, as is Tim Harrison. He wears number 25 on the far side. Hogan again squibs it. It's picked up at the 15. And there he goes on the near side again. He's got some room. This is how they started the game. He did step out of bounds.
Boy, Gallagher nearly took off.
Pretty
but
obvious call.
Yeah. That touchdown, Villa Angela had only given up 13 points in the third quarter in their first 3 games, and they've only allowed 20 points overall in the second half. And another topper down. Jamie, I think these guys are just starting to cramp up a little bit.
Well,
we're seeing.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
This weather's it's warmer than it normally is this time of the year. Last week it was a little bit cooler for football. Even last night it was cooler for football, and I think that he's just kind of getting to these guys right now.
Well, let's hope he's okay. We'll pause here on GTV. Well, Riley Hawkins is helped off the field. Matt, you thought that was a cramp that time?
It looked like, and he actually walked off the field on his own power, and he's back with his teammates right now, looking to go in after the next play. So,
well, the Vikings, they trail by 7. Whistle.
Fumbled snap? Nope.
And a offsides penalty will go against Chardon, moving the ball into Topper territory.
Lost that football for a second there, but boy, and Jamie, once again, we come down to mistakes, and it's just something where you feel that the Vikings just, if they can cut down their mistakes, that they can maybe just pull even with Chardon.
Give is to James up the middle. He'll come close to that first down in the pile. See where the spot is.
And I think to go along that same line, if Chardon just can cut out their mistakes, that they should have no problem with this Viking team.
It's going to be short, bringing a second down and very short.
James now up to 28 yards rushing, by the way.
Lou Lamauga with the tackle for the Hilltoppers.
Called that name a couple times today.
I formation. Again, it's James, and he's going to be short. Great tackling there. Hawkins back on the field. He was involved, number 65.
Yeah, Meyerhoff was in on it, and Anthony Bacchiol was in there. And a good couple of Hilltoppers. And
third down now, and a long one or short two.
Chardon has had trouble all night long on the third downs, but this is one of the few times tonight where they're in a, Villa Angela, get my team straight here, has had some trouble with the third downs. And this is one of the few times where they're in a third down and short.
They like to go to Jones in this situation. Let's see where they go. There he is, fakes the give. He's running wide side, huge tackle made. 4, 5, 6 toppers diving over. Boy, what theatrics.
Muir was the first one there to wrap him up, and great job. And boy, now Coach John Story is going to be in a little bit of a situation here. It looks like his quarterback is down with cramps.
Once again. Well, let's pause again here on GTV. Well, the starting quarterback, Daryl Jones, has been helped off, and now VASJ won't even think about punting it. They're going to run it. Now trying to run off the field is Judd, and a whistle.
They about caught Chardon napping that time, Jamie. Toppers had 12 men on the field. They were in the punt return formation. And just like that, Chardon forced to burn another timeout. They have one left.
We will pause again. Stay with us, though, on GTV. So, important play in this game. The Vikings on fourth down and a long one. They'll go for it. I formation, the give straight ahead, and it is a first down. The ball carrier was Devin Bolden.
Wow, and a great job. That is the first fourth down conversion of the night on their fourth try. And Bolden picked up quite a few yards. Picked up close to 6 yards, 7 yards.
Straight ahead, it was actually fairly easy for the Vikings. Now, they're working on that right calf of Jones on the sidelines. We'll keep you posted. The new quarterback is number 19. And there's Bolden. It's number 16. Bolden trying to get to the outside. Ruckel drives him out of bounds.
Good,
nice job.
Good open tackle by Ruckel. He was finally able to wrap him up. And, Bolden's the kind of guy who has speed. And that's something, this Viking team has a tremendous amount of speed when they can turn up the field. The problem is when you're running just, straight up and down the yard lines, you're not going to get anywhere. You have to go, end zone to end zone there. And that's what Villa Angela has had a terrible time with, is turning it up the field.
Have to apologize to all of our viewers because the new quarterback, number 16, is not on any roster that we have. So, not sure. We can expect them, though, a steady dose of running, and they do on an I formation. I believe that was Bolden again. It was. Now limping over is Tim Harrison. He seems to be pulling up a little bit.
Well, this will be interesting to see what Coach Story is going to be doing, because once his playmakers are off, it's going to be tough.
Patrick Laffey is the new quarterback for the Vikings.
Laffey, 6'1", 152, a senior, usually plays receiver or defensive back, normally wears number 15.
You are right. Another timeout, this time Vikings. Boy, the third quarter. Be thankful at home that you're not sitting up for all of this, but we'll take another break here on GTV. There is the Chardon faithful, Matt, the Hilltopper fans who made the trek. Such a great tradition here at Chardon and such a great fan base. And so many of the Chardon fans no longer have anybody in the school. They just really love Hilltopper football.
Well, they travel well, and it's when you look at those stands, you're going to see with a lot of no. This place is built big, and it's built big to hold playoff games here. And believe me, Chardon, what a turnout tonight.
3rd and 3, Jones back in the game. He gives to Bolden ahead, and I think the spot is going to give him a first down, but I don't know. It's going to be close.
It'll be close. I'm going to say that they're going to have to bring out the chains.
It'll be the first time we've had them if they, in fact, do. And the referee is going to say no, it's going to be short, so it's 4th down in what appears to be maybe 2-3 inches.
Quinn Izar, by the way, in on that tackle.
So here we go. 4th down in inches, under 5 minutes now in the 3rd quarter.
Jamie, I wouldn't be surprised to see a quarterback keeper here.
Jones, you're right, takes the snap, and he is ahead for the first down. Line will push forward. He's got 1.5 yards. And so the Vikings putting together a methodical drive. This has not been a game of big plays, really, so far. Well, here or there. But more so, it's 2, 3, 5 yards at a time.
And what's surprising, too, is all this has gone on in this quarter. We've had 6 timeouts that I can count of, 3 injuries, 3 timeouts, and yet Villa Angela is still slowly grinding their way out.
James Harrison and Bolden. And Bolden seems to be the guy who's getting now more carries here in this second half, Devin Bolden. Oh, and he ran into his own guy, and he throws behind his intended target, Sawyer. That was some miscommunication. And
good job by Ruckle to be there and ready to make the tackle and wrap that receiver up. And Ruckle, just, that's a man that we continue to call tonight. And Ruckle just doing a tremendous job on the defensive side.
He certainly has. Very talented, athletic kid, and he's only a junior. Good news. Probably the heir apparent at quarterback next year, you'd have to think. So the clock stopped, 4:19. It's 2nd and 10. Again, I formation. They're going to go just straight up ahead. It's Bolden, and he's going to lose yards. He got buried. I think that was Lamauga again.
It was, and I think I was going to say, I thought Tom Izar was in on there too, maybe Riley Hawkins.
Both the Izar brothers doing a phenomenal job today at middle linebacker. Bobby Trofe will come off the field for Chardon. 3rd down and 12. Now, I have to say, on most of the 3rd downs, we've seen a keeper out of Jones in this situation. A lot of fakes and a keeper.
And a flag. Should be delay of game.
It's an illegal substitution. Regardless, it's 5 yards. And that's not what you want on a 3rd and long already.
No, Coach John Story has to be pretty frustrated now because his team keeps backing up. Now, the one thing that this Viking team can do that kind of separates them a little bit from Chardon, Jamie, is throw the football. We've seen them have a couple of well, at least one big catch that was by Bolden earlier in this game, a 38-yarder. But, it's something where if they have to put the ball up in the air, the QB at least has a good arm, and he's got some steady receivers who can potentially haul it in.
Long play. Jones is going to throw it, and he's got Sawyer, and it's off his hands. It was a high throw, but certainly catchable.
I think he was a little Brett Favre-like there, and he just gunned that in.
Even had he caught it, probably would not have had the first down. Great secondary play by the Toppers, and now it's 4th down, 17.
Haven't said this too much tonight, but nice job by the Viking line to cut off the blitz.
Once again, though, you're in that situation where a punt does you virtually no good. And so they're going to go for it on 4th and 17. Jones has shown that at times his arm has been too good. Let's see what they decide to do here. Flanagan on the near side, Sawyer split out wide on the far. He has time. The throw is incomplete, and actually Chardon should probably be happy they didn't intercept that pass. Nice job just to knock it down.
Yeah, that was Alex Muir. And he did a good job in not trying. He wasn't even upset that he didn't catch it. He's just glad that he batted it down because he saved his team about 20-some yards right there.
Toppers take over on downs at the 30-yard line. Once again, they lead 13-6 in this one.
The Topper, I want to go back to the Topper defense real quick. They've now held the Vikings to a 2-for-6 performance on 4th down.
You know what's really important about this game, Matt, is that we'll play John Adams next week. It's certainly a team they can beat, but the Pack's schedule is coming up, and there are a lot of guns. Beliveau is going to fake the handoff and get maybe a yard, not quite. Looking at that schedule, though, I mean, after Adams, North, Madison, Riverside, Lakeside, South, you've seen some of those schools, right? I mean,
I have not seen South, but from everything that I have heard, Ray
46 points a game, right? The Rebels?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Matt Duffy, he can, you know what, if you've got a kid who has a good arm, just move to Willoughby and roll him in South, because Matt Duffy can develop quarterbacks.
2nd down, 9. Beliveau rolling, throwing. He's got a man, but it just is out of the reach of a diving John Connick. Boy, that was 6 points. But it sets up 3rd and 9.
If you look at the quarterbacks from South over the last 4 or 5 years, we've had the Nicely brothers, Dan Whalen, and now Ray Russ. And 2 of those guys are playing. One is the quarterback of Akron in Nicely, and the brothers are both at Case Western, where they're doing very well.
Yeah,
the one was almost a Gagliardi winner.
Tough job. Beliveau is going to roll again, and his throw is complete to Judd. And that's a big 1st down right at the 44.
What a good route by Judd. He turned, that was a little timing route, turned, got popped, and I think he may have just gotten the wind knocked out of him.
Judd's down, and so we'll pause for a minute. We should just remind everybody that the best way to get the latest updates about what GTV will have for its programming is to sign up to our email service. It's very easy. Just go to the website, www.geaugatv.org, sign up, and then when we set our schedule, you'll be the first one to know. And I don't know what the status of Judd is. You think he got the wind knocked out of him?
I would think so. I mean, that was a pretty big hit.
Yeah, it was, and credit him for hanging on to the ball.
Absolutely, Jamie. That's the first thing as a receiver that you're taught. No matter what happens, you hold on to that football, and the young man did a good job in holding on to it. Jamie, let's pause, or let's take a break now, and we'll be back for more football action on GTV.
So Judd walks off the field. Clock running, 1st and 10. Great play. Great catch that he made.
And more importantly, it's a 1st down and 10.
Yeah, Kimbrough, number 2, the tight end on the right side. He jumped, and that'll set up a 1st and 15.
Jamie, this 3rd quarter may eventually end. We still have about 2 minutes, 8 seconds left to play.
Boy.
But Chardon up by a touchdown, 13-6, and at some point in this game, if they can score again with the way that their defense has really held the Vikings in check, one more score could really do it.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Beliveau, wing tee, clock running. There's that reverse that they scored on, and Connick has a little bit of room, but he'll have about 6 yards and get back close to the original line of scrimmage.
I'm glad you called that because I had no idea where the ball was on that run.
That's the thing. Chardon is so good at learning how to sell those fakes. And, you know, it takes time and it takes attention to detail. And that's what Chardon has done over the years. 2nd down and 9.
Connick up to 20 yards rushing on the night.
Beliveau is rolling to his right, and he's going to throw, and he's got Kimbrough, but the ball is dropped.
Well, he gunned that one in there.
Yeah. 3rd down now and 9. We've seen Kimbrough drop a ball. We've seen Ruckel drop a ball.
You see the Raider guns at the Major League ballparks for baseball, behind them. I would love to see how fast a lot of quarterbacks could throw. Just sheer fascination on the guns on some of these guys.
Would you have a guess?
I have no clue. I don't think Brett Favre's throwing 100 when the radar gun says he's throwing 100.
1 minute now left here in the third quarter.
Could you imagine if Brett Favre was a pitcher?
That would be exciting to see Beliveau hit as he throws. Great job, number 42 for VASJ. It's R.J. Harmon. Makes a strong play, and so the Toppers will have to punt.
These two squads are really settling down in the third quarter, beg your pardon, into a defensive struggle. And for the most part, the ball has been in Chardon territory all night.
Kirsch back to punt, and the quarterback, Jones, will receive the kick. It's a good one, but Jones will play it on a hop at the 15. Breaks one tackle, and he's up and out of bounds across the 25 to the 26-yard line. Well, 46 seconds still in this quarter.
Would like to remind you that GTV has an email service that will send you GTV replay information. Just go to the website, www.geogatv.org, and sign up. When we set our schedule, you'll be the first to know. It's easy and informative, so sign up now.
Jones walking a little bit gingerly on that leg. There's no question he's affected. He gives it off to the running back. That's James. Running right side, finally goes out of bounds. He crossed the 30 to the 33-yard line. Good gain.
James did a real nice job in breaking a few tackles there. And it seems that, I'll tell you what, as longer this game goes on, we just see more and more Vikings just coming out to the sidelines limping.
Second down and 4. Of course, Chardon, this would be such a big win. They only had 2 wins in all of 2009. Throw and another drop. This one comes to Kawami Sawyer. So now it'll be 3rd and 4. But back to what I was going to say, this tradition at Chardon is strong. Make no mistake, but the facts are still Chardon only has 5 wins in the past 2 seasons, Matt, and it has been a struggle of late for the Hilltoppers.
You look at a lot of successful area programs as of late that have been struggling, Jamie, and there's
Jones on 3rd down, and it's broken up. Boy, that could have almost been intercepted.
Yeah, that time Tom Izar had to check my cheat sheet to make sure I got the correct Izar brother, but Tom had it in his hands and a little bit, boy, he'll be seeing that one again tonight in his dreams, thinking, I could have had that.
Then there was really nobody in front of him. He could have gone pick 6 the other direction. It's 4th down and 4, though. And yes, there are still 31 seconds to play in the third quarter.
I've been told this quarter may eventually end.
You'd think that it would have to. Punt in the air. Back to field at Ruckel. He's going to let it bounce. We haven't seen him try to play one since he muffed that ball in the first quarter. It blows dead at the 26-yard line.
Jamie, the Chardon defense has limited Darrell Jones to a 2 of 15 performance when he's been passing the ball. I didn't realize it was that big of a discrepancy between the attempts and the completions, but a big hand to the Chardon D.
And he came in completing about 40% of his passes, so
a lot of blitzes tonight. A lot of blitzes.
22 seconds here in this quarter. Beliveau under center. Barry behind him. Connick is off to the left, and that's Paul Judd. Judd carries, and he's stopped. He has about a yard. Clock is running. And that, Matt, will end this third quarter. Chardon leads 13-6. It was a long quarter, and it wasn't the most exciting, but Chardon will take it, and they'll take a lead going into the fourth quarter, and we'll have that final quarter when we come back on GTV. Welcome back. Second down, 8 yards for the Hilltoppers. 12 minutes on the clock. Chardon needs to continue to grind, pick up positive yards. And I'm going to say this again, Matt, do not make mistakes, because I think that a mistake by either side could be the difference. Barry up the middle, barreling forward across the 40 to the 40. First down, Hilltoppers.
Good job by Barry on 2nd and 8 to find a little hole, and he had some running room. He took off with it. Picked up about 11, well, we'll give him 12 yards on the carry. He's up to 65 yards rushing.
Roger Davis in the game for the Toppers. He's on your near side, split out. Nate Coy has not come back into the game since leaving with that ankle injury. There's Barry again. No, Beliveau keeps it.
Gained a few.
3 yards, second down, 7. Oncoming. If you just take a look, though, when we go back, Matt, Chardon for the first time went to the playoffs in 1987, and then they went in 88, 93, 94, 95, 6, and 97, 2001, 2003, 2006. And in those games, they're 22-10, and then, of course, there was the very special 1994 Division II state champions. That was all the groundwork that has been laid for this program. Running left side is Judd.
Well, Judd cut up. He may have had a little bit more success if he kept going outside and tried to bring it out near the sidelines, but tried to turn it up, and he picked up a few. Should be about 5 to go on 3rd down. I think Kwame Sawyer may have been in on that tackle.
Braitley as well. 3rd down, short 5.
Beliau's thrown the ball 10 times and getting a little bit of respect from the Vikings.
Option play, pitches it to Connick, and boy, did he get stood up.
Wow, they were waiting for that.
And that was Sawyer.
Boy, Sawyer, he's a hitter.
Hard hitter is right. 5'11", 178 for Sawyer, the senior. Chardon will have to punt.
Well, Connick only picked up 1, and
punter in, Kirsch. He's kicked the ball well. Let's give credit to the Hilltoppers special teams, well, at least the punting unit. The punting unit has done really well.
Well, hold on there.
One of the linesmen has a false start. Moving back 5 yards, it'll be 4th and 10.
That almost worked out really well because that snap a little bit high. But it never happened, so I can't say it did.
Another try at it. This is a good snap, and Kirsch gets another great punt in the air.
Oh, it's coming back.
Ball's on the ground, and it was tipped. Was there a flag thrown?
Oh, roughing the punter.
Oh, that's one of those killers.
Roughing the punter, and that should be a 15-yard. Is that a
personal foul? Yes,
15
it
yards.
is, and that's 15 yards and an automatic first down. And boy, the Vikings hurt themselves there. Coach Story cannot be happy.
For Coach DePofi, though, a chance for his squad to march on down the field. They're up by a touchdown and would love to tack on one more.
Keep the clock running. Haven't mentioned yet the assistant coaches for VASJ. Jim Webb, Germond Riff, Joe Brozak, and Monroe Hillsman. So Beliveau back out. Ball placed just behind the 45-yard line. Wing T. No surprise, 9:16 to play. Hilltoppers nursing a lead. There's that reverse play again, and it was Connick, the ball carrier. He doesn't quite get a yard, but he had some positive space.
Oh, Chardon willing to just a couple yards here, a couple yards there. And
something, Matt, that I wanted to bring up, and maybe now's the time, is all of the former professional football players who have worn that Viking uniform. There are 13.
It's a big list.
13 dating back to 1961, and of course some of the ones we're most familiar with: London Fletcher,
Oh, my boy.
Desmond Howard, Elvis Gerbach, give, carry, but that's a late penalty
There's
flag.
a flag coming in.
Yeah,
And
legal shift.
those guys
Chardon.
have, what, 3 Super Bowls, a Heisman Trophy among them?
The Golick brothers, Mike and Bob, both graduates of this school. And then another of other players as well. 13, and I think by my count, 11 of them played under Coach John Story. The shift, the illegal shift, will move the Toppers back 5 yards. Second down and 14 coming. 8:36.
Of course, if you think about the basketball players, too, that have come out of here, Eric Riley, Stan Kimbrough, Kevin Edwards, and, of course, Clark Kellogg. And
we'll be able to add David Lighty to that list soon enough
another
as well.
young man who's, I'll tell you what, David Lighty's doing things the right way. Played 4 years here and is entering his 4th and final year of eligibility at Ohio State.
Belleville rolling left, throwing, and it's right to the defender, intercepted. Second interception for Belleville.
That was Gallagher.
Gallagher makes the pick. Hard to say there. Clearly, Dan was screened in some way because he threw that one right directly into the numbers.
There was a lot of blue there.
And there's a mistake. So Chardon unable to capitalize on the Viking penalty, and they give it right back. And now Vikings have pretty good field position.
For the Topper fans, this has to be just such a frustrating half, Jamie, because every time Villa Angela makes a big mistake, Chardon just comes right back and makes a mistake of their own.
Long pass, and it's incomplete. Meyerhoff on the coverage.
Boy, they almost could have thrown a flag because he wasn't paying attention whatsoever and really impeded the receiver to the ball.
That was C.J. Germany, the intended receiver for the Vikings.
But they're letting him play.
Second down and 10. Chardon running some people on. Paul Judd coming in.
Second down and 10 Vikings from their own 47.
Some issues right now between the assistant coaches and the coaches down on the field with some substitution problems. Second and 10. Give straight ahead. That's James. He gets driven back and to the turf. He'll lose yards.
Good job by the Chardon D. They snuffed that one out, and they were ready and waiting for Clinton James.
You know, the Viking offense has really hit a snag. You've already mentioned the really abysmal completion percentage for Jones. They're not running the ball very effectively. You know, their best play has been really Jones himself faking a handoff and keeping it. And I think Chardon now knows that, and they're really keying, probably stalking his every move.
Well, the issue is, and they had that incompletion to begin this drive, but if you look at they're stacking the guys in the box. There's a flag, false start. And these I'm just going to keep saying it, Jamie, and this is going to be probably, when this game's over, we're going to continue to be talking about it. Just another mistake.
It will move them back. This is a third and almost unmanageable. And they've been in this situation a number of times. I mean, they had a third and 25, and then a fourth and 34, and now another third. And what are they going to? They're going to call this 16 as we approach the 7-minute mark.
This offense has become pretty predictable in the sense that you expect the pass. It's probably going to go down the right side because he's only thrown to the right side.
There it is. Long pass, and it's off of the fingertips of Sawyer. He had him beat for a touchdown, Matt.
Wow. Sawyer had it in his hands, went off his fingertips, nearly got it as it was coming back down again. And the Hilltoppers will force the Vikings for another punt.
I don't know maybe if there's some condensation on the ball or what exactly is going on, but we've seen a lot of drops.
These receivers are having a tough time hanging on to the football. But then, then again, too, if you only get your hands on the tip of the football, Jamie, and you close too early, you have no chance of catching. I mean, you've really got to wrap your hands around the football itself.
You have to ask these teams, are either of them all that interested in winning this game? As Chardon muffs the punt. That's number 25, Riley Hawkins. Second muff we've seen today, but Riley jumps on the ball, and the Toppers will start their drive at the 21-yard line.
Well, he did a good job to cover it up. And the one thing that Chardon, their biggest nightmare would have been for him to not be able to recover that football, but he did. And that's the one thing, when you make a mistake, to limit the damage. And Riley Hawkins did a good job there. He made the mistake, but he got on top of it. His offense now has a chance to come out on the field. 6:47 to play, up 13-6, Jamie. Control the ball and just put this game away.
Beliveau. And Ruckel, I think Ruckel's in the game. He took that snap. Running right side, positive yards.
His first carry of this contest.
And he's going to stay in. No, now Belivau's going to come in. So just trying to change it up. There was a time where Ruckel was getting more and more snaps, but I think Beliveau has established himself as this starter, and he'll see them all, or most, now from here on out. And he played a lot last year, too. 5 yards on that last carry. Second down. To give Barry, once again, huge running room up the middle. Across the 35 to the 37, and it's a Chardon first down.
He's just kind of dragging guys with him. Chardon's 8th third down of this contest and 5th of this second half.
Under 6 minutes now. Toppers just want to keep this clock moving, and of course the timeout situation that we saw in the third quarter could also have an effect on this game. Toppers with just 1, Vikings have 2. It's Ruckel again, fakes the handoff, running right, breaks a tackle across the 45, and he gets hit like a whirling dervish.
A what?
A whirling dervish. Positive yards brings up 2nd and 7. I really do not want to take the time right now to explain what that is, but
that's
look
okay.
it up. It's actually quite entertaining.
WH?
Yes.
Okay.
Whirling, almost like twirling. So 5:15 now and counting. Second down and short. Quarterback is Ruckel. Connick in motion. He gives. It's Barry. Some of these guys look really tired. That's a first down. Hillcox with the stop. And the clock continues. Toppers, Matt.
Well, the Toppers have been really working on the offensive side of things, and they're well over 100 yards rushing, and Barry leads the way with 71.
Running right side, Ruckel again, and he'll go down for a loss of about a yard. Great open field tackle by Gallagher, number 20. And a whistle. Looks like a player is down. And I think it might be Sawyer, which would really hurt the Vikings. We'll pause, though, here on GTV. So Sawyer comes off the field. Clock continues to run. Second down now. Just a little over 10 yards. Kimbrough in the game. Now Belivau's in as a wideout on the near side. Ruckel is still under center. And he gives straight ahead. That's Barry.
First time we've seen that formation tonight.
I don't know if Chardon has something planned, but the way that they're working right now, and as you said, with the Vikings coming off the field and they're slow to get up, if I was Chardon, I would keep running it straight ahead. Belivau's now going to come out of the game.
I'm going to say this, Jamie. Tonight's game, the tape, will be seen by North. North had some of their coaches, and they're still down here, sitting right in front of us. they may be thinking a little bit ahead.
Straight up the middle, first down for Chardon. It's Barry. And that play, that fullback dive, looks like it might just work every time for the rest of this game. Chardon starting to push around the Vikings. Another first down.
They're 10th, and big difference between halves. That first half, Chardon just struggled and struggled and struggled, only managing 3 first downs. And they have done a really good job. They picked up 7 since.
Beliveau coming back into the game, and now he'll play quarterback. He and Ruckel sharing snaps on this drive. 3 minutes, 10 seconds, still counting. Judd in motion. Beliveau fakes the give and has a yard or two, and then a late flag comes in, and I'm not sure what this will be.
I don't know. I mean, that was a clean tackle. Maybe there was some holding, but Gallagher made a great tackle right at the knees of the quarterback and got him by the ankles.
I think it is going to be holding. That's not what Chardon needed. That's a 10-yard penalty, of course. It'll bring up first down and long.
The one thing that Chardon can start counting as their friend right now, Jamie, is the clock. Down to 3:02, and it will eventually wind up again. And there it goes, under 3 minutes to play now. But that clock, the closer it gets to 0, the bigger friend it is to Chardon, the bigger foe it is to VASJ.
Ruckel again, the quarterback, gives up the middle. Barry pulling people, and he fumbled it, but it was late. He was down. You see the official signaling that. 2:36 and counting, second down, and let's say 12 or 13. Vikings with just 2 timeouts, and they're going to have to think about using them soon.
Well, the question now, Zach Barry, I have him unofficially about 87 yards. Can he get those extra 13? Also, mentioned this earlier in this half, Vikings have only allowed a touchdown in this fourth quarter up to this point in the year.
That was Zach Barry, and he goes nowhere.
Yeah, they may give him a yard.
Yeah, they do. Third down is coming up, and it is clock. No, it'll be a timeout by the Vikings. So 2 minutes, and the Toppers will face a third and long. Don't go anywhere. This could be an exciting finish here on GTV. Well, it's third down and 10. Jamie Ward with you. Matt Jaworski here with me as well. We're so glad that you're watching GTV and that you've tuned in. And there are 2 minutes to play in this one. Chardon trying to even up their record at 2-2. There's that reverse. It's to Connick, and he is wrapped up and brought down immediately. And so now decision has to be made.
Jamie, this is a huge fourth down now. You're looking at fourth down and about 7.
What do you
7
do?
or 8. What do you do?
What do you do, man? Oh, I'm asking you.
You have to punt.
I would also punt. I would hope for a pooch kick. I mean, if you get the first down, this game is over. Yes, but just you got to force the Vikings to go as far as they possibly can. And Kirsch has shown that he's a pretty good punter. Have him angle one in, and if you can pin the Vikings, then this thing is probably over for sure.
Here's the situation now. The Vikings burn their final timeout. They have no timeouts left. They will get the ball. We think that they're going to be getting the ball back with just under 2 minutes to play. A lot of time for them to keep it on the ground, but we do know that they're not afraid to go through the air.
No, and Jones has a good arm. So let's see what they're going to do now. Bellevau's out there.
Of course.
I think they're going to go for it,
I
man.
could say, you know what? We're only 8 yards away from the first down. Let's try it.
Well, Chardon is going for the jugular right now from the 36-yard line. Bellevau under center. 8 yards, and the Toppers win this thing. The fake, rolling, the throw, and there is nobody there. Wait, it's incomplete. Judd was there, in fact. Great diving effort. But the ball falls incomplete on the turf, and now the Vikings with decent field position. You're not going to second guess the call, but it could now. Hindsight now says what?
It's the one danger. If you do not convert, this is what happens. Now, Villa Angela, let's get this stage set. There's another player down.
Yeah, we'll take a timeout now. The Vikings, when we come back, will have one chance, one drive to win this thing on GTV. Paul Judd, the intended receiver, is walking off the field. You see him there on the far side. So there's 1 minute, 48 seconds. Jones, the quarterback for the Vikings, Matt, and here we go. Are you ready for the end of this one?
I am, and Jamie, it's the drive. This is it. If you're just joining us, yeah, this is it.
Long throw. It's going to Sawyer, and it's off his fingertips. Meyerhoff on the coverage really was just turning and running, didn't get his head around till late.
Second time that they've gone deep, and it's just gone off his fingertips.
Well, expect to see a lot of that the rest of the way. And Jones throws a pretty good ball. You know, they were working on that too. They were working on deep fades toward the sideline. And again, I was impressed with Jones's arm. 1:42 now. Second down and 10. Shotgun, three wide receivers in the game. Out route. This time it's caught by Sawyer. Breaks the tackle, gets out of bounds, and he'll stop the clock. Smart play.
Sawyer did the real good job there of knowing when to cut off his route. And that's something where right now they have enough time that they don't have to go for the touchdown right away. They can use a little bit of clock, 1:36 left.
Right at the 50-yard line. Flanagan and Sawyer off to the far side. Shotgun again. Jones has time. Now he's being rushed. Lumoga brings him down.
And that
was 52. That was Pavlik.
A loss of about 12.
Clock running. Vikings cannot stop it.
Sawyer on the year, Jamie. 16 catches, 221 yards. Long of 48.
And they're going to spike the ball on 2nd and 21. Boy,
well,
hate to waste a down when you need that many yards.
You do, but I also understand the logic there. Right now, you're kind of in a race against the clock, thinking, okay, if we get a 10-yard play here, another 10, 11-yard play here, 10, 11-yard play there, you get the first down, you go to bounds both times. And then, this kid, I think if they get him on the Chardon side of the 50, he probably could hit the end zone and just, leave it up for a Hail Mary.
I think you're right. Shotgun, 3rd and 21. Pressured, throwing, it's to Sawyer again, but it's out of bounds and it's incomplete. And so now, with 21 yards to go, the Vikings will face 4th down.
That was the only second time tonight that they've looked left side, and first one was a throw well out of the end zone, and that one was well out of bounds. And I think it's safe to say that Jones just not comfortable throwing to his left side.
Chardon secondary just needs to back up. Meyerhoff is the corner on the near side. Ruckel, corner on the far. Beliveau is playing a safety position as his number 25. That's Riley Hawkins.
Well, this is the game right here, 4th and 21.
Jones throwing it up. It's going to be a jump ball, and it is incomplete.
Intercepted.
No, you're right. Intercepted. There's Ruckel, his 2nd today. It's nice to intercept that, and it doesn't really matter. You only need to snap it and take a knee at this point. But
now that about does it. And
Toppers, barring some horrendous missed snap, will even their record, Matt, at 2 wins and 2 losses this year.
Well, Chardon, a big win. That's now 2 in a row for the Hilltoppers, and one more game until they get into that meaty part of their schedule.
Yeah, well, they're going to call a timeout to make sure everybody's on the same page, so stay here for the end of this one. Welcome back. 58 seconds left in this one. 1st and 10, Toppers on the Ruckel interception. Beliveau in the game, and it's time to take a knee. You need 2 successful snaps to end this one. There's one.
And now it's just a matter of letting the clock run before you take that next one.
They're going to place the ball. Referee blows his whistle. 25 seconds is the play clock. So if you get it under 25 and you take another one, said one of the Chardon assistant coaches come by. They've left their perches. Matt, he just received the congratulations. He said, well, it was ugly, but they'll take the win.
At this stage, you will take any win you can get.
Good snap and a good knee, and that will do it. Hilltoppers with a victory here in Euclid against VASJ. And so that game in 1988, all those years ago, 3-0, another low-scoring affair. The final here today, 13-6. We'll pause one last time and wrap things up for you here on GTV. So there is an exchange, a handshake at midfield. Toppers with the win, 2-2. Matt, what does the stat sheet look like? I know Barry ran the ball.
We'll run down just a couple quick stats here. And Daryl Jones for the Vikings, 117 yards on the ground. He was just 2 of 17 through the air for about 41 yards. For Chardon, Barry, I had him with 88 yards on the ground. He led the way. Let's see here. Also for Chardon, Beliveau had 60 on the ground and completed a couple passes. I have him for about 30 yards through the air. And Chardon with 10 first downs, 7 of those coming in the second half, Jamie.
Great day for Chardon, and thank you for watching. For Chris Graw and Jeff Graw, the cameramen, our executive producer, Dave Jevnikar and Matt Jaworski, I'm Jamie Ward. We'll see you soon.